Hey, so I'm sitting here and I was gonna do a reading and I shuffle the cards to asking like what this reading is gonna be about and what I need to know. These three cards came out. Seven of Swords, Eight of Pentacles, Six of Swords. And hold on. I want you to know that there might be someone in your environment that's messing with your finances or your ability to work. And you'll be moving away from that soon. So I know from my own personal life, I'm moving probably within the next month or so to this new place. So the Seven of Swords issues, I've been working on moving away from that. So you've been having some Seven of Swords issues and you've been putting in the work to move away from that. But there still seems to be that lingering energy in your field. So be careful who you trust. Really be careful who you trust. I'm not saying this just to put suspicion on anybody, but there is a energy of someone walking away with your sense of, it's like the Five Swords from the Five of Swords, they're walking away with those happily. So it's almost as if somebody that caused trouble and they're happy to have caused it and they're doing it in a beneficial way. It's like working for you. It's almost as if it's helpful sabotage from somewhere that you're not expecting or that you are. Because these two could be these two. And it could be like a Bonnie and Clyde situation or a brother, sister, or two brothers causing trouble in a family, or like, getting ready to move somewhere, they're packing things. There's work being done to remedy situations that were negative previously. That's basically what it goes to. So whatever you think is going on in your life and you're being paranoid about it, don't be. Well, something's working out for you. You just can't see it yet. So I don't really have any specific reason for doing this reading, but I was sitting there and I kept thinking about a baby, and not just a baby, and I've heard this baby mentioned on so many channels, but the readings I've been doing, there's been this constant undertone and undercurrent of a connection between these two souls, or like these two oversouls, or like how do I get it to how do I explain this? It's like two presences, two separate individual aspects of infinity. So it's not you and your twin flame. It's not you and your soulmate. It's like the entire collective of you and then the entire collective of someone else. There's this energy playing out between these two beings in so many different lifetimes and so many different versions of reality. And it seems like they're trying to, what I'm seeing is like lightning streaking through the sky, but it doesn't reach the clouds or the ground. It's just the spark in between that keeps happening, but it doesn't make a connection. The other ones seem to be like this rose bush here. Some of these vines are growing and blooming, but some of them it's like a dead end, like it's just, there's no bloom right there. But because there's no bloom right there, it doesn't mean that there won't be a bloom there, in the next 5 minutes or whatever. It's a very strange energy. It's a very strange scenario and story playing out between these two. And I don't really want to I don't want to dig into them or whatever that story is. I don't know what's going on in the hallway, but it sounds like people fighting. Oh, they stopped. Anyway, oh my. I don't know what's going on out there. But that seems to be the energy. This like strange irritation. But there's no reason for it. Like, I have no idea what's going on in the hallway, but I'm aware of the irritation going on in the hallway. It's kind of like that. And I want to get some clarity for you, because I know how this applies to my life, this energy I've been experiencing, and these beings I've been tuned into, and the way it's played out in my life and my story is like irrelevant for you, really. But it's not irrelevant. It is relevant how it played out for me. I just don't want to talk about it. I'd rather use the wisdom I gained to help you gain the wisdom without the suffering. So the way it played out with me, it's already played, like it's already done. That version of those two beings. On my timeline, it's already completed its story. But the story keeps coming to me through the cards and through spirit and through people that I do readings for. And it seems we're all going through a sort of collective relationship drama that seems to be playing out the same story in different spectrums to get the lesson taught to people in different ways, but it's the same lesson, really, if you look at it in a big picture kind of way. I hope this makes sense to you. So I want to get clarity on this for you, for specifically for you and your relationship, okay? And I don't want you to think about that specific person. I want you to feel gratitude for just a minute. Just be grateful that you even got to know them. However horrible it played out, however terrible all of your relationships have been, or however great they've been, just take a couple of seconds and just acknowledge that you met people that really changed you in good and bad ways that you have yet to see exactly on how to judge them, good or bad. But you've been changed. So let's be grateful for that. You know, like it takes a sense of a little bit of humbleness to realize that regardless of how we feel in the present moment, it might not be the most it might not be the best we could be doing with our emotional states and our mind and our thoughts. So be gentle with yourself with that, and just be grateful that you got to meet people in your life that helped you see and hear and feel more clearly. Now, I want you to just be here, be present, and how do I word this for you? I don't want you to put a label on who we're reading for, okay? We're just going to call it your divine selection. The partner appointed to you before the current you was ever even here and alive. So this is, remember, this is going beyond your physical life. This is going beyond the physical expression and the 3 dimensions. This is someone, an aspect of creation, a masculine or feminine energy, or a combination of both, that you are connected to. Regardless of whether you're masculine or feminine, male, female, it doesn't matter. It's two separate energies, you and someone else. Yes, we're all connected, but we're also individual. Yes, we're all one, but we're also, each of us is the one in ourselves. You know, like, you are not another me, but you are another me. I'm another you, but you're not, we're not the same. It's like leaves on a tree. Each one's different, but we're all connected to the tree of life. I have eaten so much ice cream today. I don't know why. It's so cold out there too, but I got this chocolate, black cherry chocolate, like soft serve ice cream. It's so good. It's so good, and it has cherry chunks in there. Anyway, okay. Now, these past 11 minutes haven't been just for the reading. There's been a lot of energy work being done for you too, on like with your guides and stuff. I've been I know you feel a little different right now. It's okay. There's like a sensation of revving to go kind of feeling, like an electrical get going type of thing. And that's on purpose. I want you to really feel this for yourself. This other person you're connected to is important on so many levels. But let's figure out what you are doing in this connection right here, right now, in this moment. What can you expect, okay, to occur with this other person in your life? One more. Queen of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Clarify Ace of Cups, please. Page of Swords. Oh. High Priestess, 4 of Wands, and 2 of Wands. And over here we have 9 of Pentacles. 5 of Cups. 4 of Pentacles. 2 more for the Ace of Cups, please. King of Wands. 5 of Pentacles, 6 of Swords. Excuse me. Sorry, I have to go get something to drink. Like Glenconer. Luas, that's the wild. Okay. And the feline at the bottom of the deck. Alright, look it. This person you're involved with in this life experience, where you all are playing this story out, like this drama between the two of you. They haven't stopped looking at you. They have not stopped talking about you. They have not stopped thinking about you since the previous time you saw them. I feel like I should add a disclaimer to this, that this specific relationship that is being read about right here is not one that is currently seeming like it's beneficial to you. Does that make sense? It is a relationship that you have deemed narcissistic and toxic. You've deemed it something you've held on to for too long, something that has hurt you and disappointed you, and you'd rather be single. You'd rather take your offer and go somewhere else. This person seems to have had very harsh and immature views on what love is and how to act out behavior as a grown human being towards others with love. They had the foundation of what it actually meant to be mature, ass backwards, with the High Priestess in reverse. They had been told a lot of lies while they were growing up by people in their life, by their family, regarding how to be and who to be, and how to move through life, and what to ask for and what to work towards, by people who didn't know that they didn't know better. Like, they didn't know that they didn't know. What they were teaching and passing on was something that damaged this person's ability to express love externally without it seeming narcissistic. Does it make sense? It's like somebody who thinks if you cater to them and they shower you with gifts, that's how they show you love. They don't get that if you're not physically affectionate, or that however your love language is, whatever your love language is to you, this is the way that they didn't know that love language. They were taught that the masculine sits above the emotions and has the other energies cater to them. And if that doesn't occur, that means that they aren't loved, and that they then become selfish and keep that love within themselves and shut the other person out. See, these two are the same two in this boat. This guy shut them out because of parental teachings that were passed down through the bloodlines that were inaccurate. And instead of teaching compassion, they taught pride. The lessons were reversed. And in having done so, the lesson that is being taught through this experience is the opposite side of that. So all the things that went wrong at their higher vibration through research and study and apology and communication and slow and steady movement forward through creativity, maybe therapy or couples counseling, or just being flat out brutally honest, letting your two inner children communicate. And it's like, okay, look, this dude that you were dealing with, whether male or female, completely treated you like shit. But in doing so, you were taught how to respect yourself. This person had the intellectual capacity to lead, the spiritual, mental intellect, and the wit and speed through life, the cunning. This person had the compassion, the empathy, the sympathy, the down-to-earthness, the humbleness, sometimes the foolishness, the kid in the corner you just want to go and sit next to and be like, you okay? And this one being the extrovert, the introvert and the extrovert kind of thing. You were shown each other the wrong love language to be able to, as cheesy as it sounds, learn how to love yourself through your light and like your highs and your lows, without having to judge what you've held on to or what you haven't. This energy that I'm picking up on doesn't feel insidious. It does not feel malicious. It feels incorrect. Like the intentions were pure. The way the intentions were brought about in this life experience and how it played out for you and that other being was immature. You had pure intentions with immature actions, which resulted in arrogance and control and manipulation and abandonment and neglect and probably some thievery, probably a lot of silence and gossip and backtalk and holding resentment and grudges and unforgiveness, but deep down inside wanting nothing more than to jump each other's bones. There's love here. There's definitely love here. But the issue is that there's no wisdom. Notice the major arcana, the Emperor, with the Ace of Cups in reverse. That is not somebody who's going to be nice to you, especially with the King of Wands next to it. This isn't about someone else being in a third-party situation or not. This is just about you and this other person. And they're presenting like the Emperor with the Ace of Cups in reverse and the King of Wands, the Five of Pentacles. This is an asshole. This is an asshat who doesn't care how cold it is outside. They will lock the door and leave you out there. On the reverse side of that, in doing so, you learned what's deep within yourself and what you really have been attracting through the 5 elements of life, and how you've been manifesting and how long you've been keeping yourself in a negative state, waiting for an Emperor energy to save you. This other energy that's involved in your energy doesn't know how to save you. The way it saved itself was through narcissistic survival tactics. 6 of Swords, Glencorner. Narcissistic survival tactics to leave behind negative energies. Doing it at any cost and immediately, irrationally, and with wanting to just get it over with. Manifesting family, but doing it through negative emotions and negative means. This could also be this person, whether you're in contact with them or not, they're watching you. They spy on your social media, on your whatever you're doing, like even astrally, they could be watching you. Ace of Cups and the Page of Swords, it's inner, emotional, astral observance. And this is physical, tangible, slow and steady movement forward, but through childlike creativity. Very innocent, very studious, like a, bright little kid with their little tuxedo suit and a little backpack, and they're just going to school, and they hold the door open for their sister, and, they hold their mom's hand, and they carry the little tiny bags with like tiny little apples in them or something. Like they're always trying to help and be supportive. And this person doesn't see it that way. They see it in a way where they're like, what's really going on there? Because what they experienced growing up from a mother and father in their life was a father who was probably too controlling or not even there or distant, or someone who drank and left to go, find another family. And a mother who had to carry the burden of the family on her own and make ends meet in a way that twisted her sense of wisdom in life. So the advice she gave came out very narcissistic and abusive. Fend for yourself, take care of yourself. People are always going to leave you out in the cold. Use them and lose them. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. That kind of mentality. And you and this other person played the story out to where you've had this distance and separation, but you've also had this connection, the whole spectrum of it, so that you could see within yourself the patterns that have been ingrained within your family. within the pillars of your life and the structure of your entire genetics. This goes back to all your ancestors. You've been feeling this, you've experienced this so that you can liberate yourself and those that came before you. It's like sending a ripple out through time-space and freeing the negative karma of everybody involved. Even the skull looks like it's smiling. There's another baby. Oh look, double Queen of Swords. Knight of Swords in reverse. Ten of Cups. Eight of Wands. What is the message? King of Cups. I guess that king decided to calm his fire and take that cup and drink it to build the courage to come towards you, even though they're scared. They want something with you. They want family. But they have no idea what family really means yet. Because the only way they knew family was in this distorted way. So if you hold that against them, and if you act like a Queen of Swords, sending out your knights and saying, I do not want this offer, I want nothing, I'm going to hold on to it and, just be miserable and bitter and whatever. I'm going to go and move on, or I'm going to go and change my life and start a new empire with these pentacles. I'm going to be happy with myself, or you're going to go and dig into your addictions and just avoid and disassociate. You can do all that. You can do whatever you wish. But the advice here for you is to tie up these loose ends. You're not seeing everything clearly. So just be brave. Be courageous enough to allow this other energy in your life that you've turned your backs towards, like you and this other person. Even if you're face to face, most of the time you're probably back to back. Even if there's peace between you and this other person, there's probably more silence than there is communication. You're probably off doing your own things. This can also be, you could be highly intuitive and really psychic. You could be a card reader that digs into all the business, really, like utilizing the ability of clairvoyance, but in ways that are more page than a ticked off high priestess. And instead, you've been expressing in a way where you're a suspicious psychic. You see? Suspicion, psychic. And this other energy over here is just like, how can I put one more pentacle on that? How can I make a family by myself? What else is there left for me to do to get those 9 pentacles into 10? So they go back to the first pentacle. What was something you wanted to do as a child? What was your childhood dream? Before, it was about being in love and married and have a happy family, or having perfect parents. Before, having the perfect friend. Deep down inside of you, what was that first wish you made to yourself? That deep self inner, not external offering, but pouring the cup out within yourself, to yourself. It's not all about relationships and the drama that comes with it. And maybe this person that has been in, or had been in your life, or is in your life, was put there to get you to see that you can be fine on your own, regardless of how you feel about it. It's like a harsh lesson, isn't it? But in the end, these two energies need to be righted. Look. Things have gotten better for you and this other person. You just have to look at it with both eyes open, instead of the eye of the past being shut and the eye of the future being too scared to see things clearly. There's unfinished business between you and this other energy, and you can either finish it in this incarnation and get it over with and see where the story goes, or you two can hold on to the drama and baggage of the past, keep each other shut out of each other's lives, and, keep blaming the other person for doing something to you and you doing something to them. Either way, the energy between these two people has to come together in a way where it brings peace. And the things of the past, the things held on to, the things cried over, are the things keeping you from the foundations you seek with each other. So if you can put aside I think this was brought up in the other reading too, and I was saying something about it. If you can put aside the blame against each other, like an angel talking to a demon, if you can just put that aside for a minute and really really hear each other out in between what you're both saying to each other. So be empathic. So this person could be saying something, she's saying something, they're both looking away, but deep down there's an energetic current connecting them both of emotions. So you're being asked to not use your words. Like there's a post on the Ravens group actually about words being, not like actions speak louder than words. And this is what this is. Words, actions. Like this is some internal action. Instead of speaking external words and being, shady to each other, speak with actions. So if you're the person A in the situation who has, I can flip the situation around in so many different ways and you'll probably be able to relate to either side. So what I'm going to say about this is, regardless of which side you're on or which person you are, the advice is the same. And I'm going to get a little clarifier for you on the advice. Hold on a minute. Let's get a whole new deck out for the advice. And as weird as this is going to sound, it really feels like you're both watching this reading. Like you and this other person are somehow both watching this. It's very odd. That's why I'm having such a stuttering time trying to explain this. It's a mirroring energy, but it's not mirroring left like a legit mirror. It's like what this one's not doing, this one is doing. What this one's not doing, this one is doing. And it should be flipped over here this way. Holy shit, yo. Four of Cups, Nine of Wands, Ace of Wands, Ace of Swords, Hermit, Two of Cups, Five of Swords. Those are all face down, so we won't take them. Your advice: get out of your emotions and get out of your head. Utilize your emotions as the tool that they are to enlighten the wounded warrior within, so that you can become aware that you don't need to defend yourself in regards to narcissistic people. You vibrating higher simply eliminates those people from your vibration anyway. And if you're vibrating higher and a person you deemed narcissistic returns to you with any form of communication that you seem to want to run away from or to run towards, you'd be getting it wrong. Because what actually is going on is that you've raised your vibration to such a point that this person coming back towards your life, or this person in your life, isn't the way they were. So by thinking that they're the same way, you're actually betraying yourself. Hermit in reverse, Two of Cups, Five of Swords. Going within to find the answer is this. This means you've gone outside of yourself to find the answer for love that exists within yourself, which has betrayed you. Because the people you have communicated with in regards to your love life have only seen one side of the story. They've given you false information. Not because they wanted to, but because nobody knows exactly what you and this person went through other than you and this person. Nobody knows. Like, no one knows what was in those 3 cups, the water that made up those 3 cups. Nobody knows the memories she's remembering. Nobody. They're internal. They're about you and this person. So going external with the Hermit in reverse to find information regarding love has betrayed you and kept you from that which you have sought in the first place. So your advice is, instead of going outside of yourself for advice, recognize within you that your emotions are the advice. Your emotions are power. And that power will help free you from the 9 of Wands into the 10 of Wands, so that you can lay that burden down and get out of hermit mode and actually sit and share a cup of coffee with someone. Regardless of how they communicate to you, you still cherish their communication. You see? All you gotta do is look at the disappointment of the past, or what you don't want, differently. Because what you don't want doesn't exist anymore. Because you are not the same person anymore. If someone is vibrating at this level, and this comes to them, do you really think this person would even acknowledge the 2 of Cups? No, right? Like, they don't like themselves. There's no self-love there. Their own cup is empty. So how would they share the cup with someone else? But if this person, you, have been vibrating at a high vibration, like the Page of Swords at its highest vibration, an excellent, communicator, a leader in training, a squire, a knight, a sage, or whatever, whatever. Someone really intellectual, witty, smart, funny, attractive and playful and creative and loves to travel. At a low vibration, it's a fucking spy. It's sneaky. It's manipulative. It's a liar. It's a betrayer. Like the worst of the worst. If you're at a high vibration and the 2 of Cups comes towards you from the person that you deemed a narcissist, wouldn't that mean that you just attracted a narcissist, which would make you exactly the same? Something in you would mean that you attracted a narcissist, right? Because God, the universe, they're not just dropping, the villains in your path like a video game. You attract it, you create it, you co-create it. So if this person's coming back into your life and you're better than you were, how could you possibly have the Ace of Swords in reverse towards this other person? It would be completely hypocritical, would it not? Like, oh yeah, I've gotten so much better, but obviously you haven't because you're still a page, right? Nah, bitch, you a page too. You're both on the same page. It's simply time to look at each other as the people you are now in this present moment of reality, instead of looking at each other for what you were. Who the fuck are you now? Wear your crown. Make something out of those pentacles. Communicate. These two would be so much better together than they are apart. Because for all of this one's dumbness, this one is intelligent enough to keep this one from self-sabotaging. And this one's humble and, so like a puppy enough that it keeps this one from being way too arrogant. They balance each other out. It's like lava underneath the ocean that isn't dried up. The lava and the ocean somehow seem to work together without destroying each other, at least in this case. So don't go to the Five of Swords place within yourself and think that something better than that is going to come towards you. Don't judge someone as something they're not and think that you deserve better when you're the one judging. And if someone comes to you as this, be humble enough to realize that that also exists in you. And once you clear that within you, the other person coming towards you, or that's already in your life, won't be exhibiting those same behaviors, because you'll be attracting from each other the energies that you're emitting. So if you want love, start giving love. If you want more wisdom, start, doing whatever it is you do for wisdom. Does this make sense to you? Do not be the Queen of Swords towards someone who's already changed, because they're going to be the Queen of Swords right back towards you. You mirror each other. This person has evolved just as much as you have, if not more. You're both literally on the same page all the time. Parallel life. Put down the swords and talk to each other. Because honestly, I'm getting a little bit tired of having this energy in every single one of my readings. And it's not a specific person. It's a collection of people dealing with the same problem. And it's starting to boggle my mind. And the clarity of the situation seems to be that the law of attraction, like attracts like. There are so many laws to the universe. Your thoughts, your emotions, the 12 principles of Hermeticism or something. There's so many. And the current situation for people has been this, looking for answers outside, and then what they find was the Five of Swords. And then they're like, oh, I always knew that this relationship was terrible. No, they don't know what that relationship is, because what they're reading is the clouds of what you're emitting. And what you're emitting is something that you're omitting from yourself. You're hiding your true self underneath a version of you that isn't you, while shining a light out to people that only want to take that light, which has you completely screwed up in your relationships, because you don't know who's there for you and who's there not for you. So you just sit there holding on to the past for no reason. And the advice, again, with all of it is, you're not wounded. You're not wounded. All that stuff that happened, let it nourish who you're becoming. Use all that stuff to gain the wisdom from it. So if it ever happens again in any of your relationships, you know exactly how to sort it out. With clear and honest communication. Where'd that Ace of Swords go? Like, the Ace of Swords just disappeared. Oh, there it is. Stop hiding your communication from each other. This relationship isn't going to sort itself out in this lifetime, so don't even try. It's really not. This energy is so beyond any one couple on this planet. It's absurd. It's like the color. It's if somebody is making a giant quilt, and each color is, you know, a different spectrum of people and problems and things. This relationship I just read for is every shade of the color blue or the color purple with a little bit of red and, you know, some orange. It's everywhere. It's connected to